What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to remove the front bumper on a 2020 to 2024 C8 Corvette. Now, first things first, we're going to be removing 3 trim panels up in here so we can access the battery. I'm going to be disconnecting the battery just so we don't get any weird codes from lifting the front of the vehicle and disconnecting sensors and whatnot. So we're going to start off by removing this trim panel, and then the entire rear trim panel to access the battery that's up under there. As you can see, I now have the panels off, so now we have easy access to our battery. I'm just gonna disconnect the negative side with a little 10mm right there. All right, so here we go. We have the car jacked up now in the front because that's all we're gonna be needing. We have the 2 front wheels off, and now we're gonna start to remove the inner splash shield on both sides. All right, so taking a look up in here, it looks like we're gonna have a ton of T15s that we're gonna have to be removing. And possibly a push pin. Usually fender liners have push pins somewhere, but I don't see any on this one. So I'm going to count how many I remove, and then I will let you guys know. All right, so we have the fender liner removed now. So first off, I had to pop this little thing off. It just had one little 7mm up below here, and then it just has some push clips, so you just kind of yank on it, and it comes right off. And then there are a total of, I believe, 14 T15 screws that you need to remove, and then 4 7mm screws that you need to remove. They're up under here, and then there's like one up under here that attaches right there. So 4 total, and then 14. So a total of 18 per side. Now, once you get both of your fender liners out of the way, you're gonna have a couple connectors to disconnect. So we're gonna disconnect both of these on the driver's side, and then coming around to the passenger side, we are going to, I already have it disconnected, but disconnect this little connector right there. And then also unclip it from this little piece so it will go with the actual bumper whenever we remove the bumper and won't get hung. Now back up to the top of the vehicle, we're gonna have to remove the weather stripping, just mainly half of it, just so we can pull this other trim panel off of the front and then get to the screws below it that are holding the front of the bumper on. Just kind of set it on in there, and then we should just be able to kind of pull straight up and work our way around on this. I'm gonna put the camera down so I don't scratch anything, but yeah. And just like that, this piece comes off, and then as you can see, we can now get to our other T15s. Man, this thing just is held in by a bunch of T15s, is it not? So I think there's like 6 roughly up here that we'll be removing. After removing all of those, I was incorrect. There's actually 8. And these 2 bigger holes, they have, for some reason, a special type of screw with like another little grommet or something on it. I have no idea, but apparently they're supposed to go there. So don't mix those up. I mean, they're just the big holes. So we're going to do that. Now we have to crawl up underneath the car, and we're going to remove all the T15s on the front of the bumper that would normally hold a front splitter on if you had a front splitter on the car. I don't at this time, but there's like a ton of them. There's probably like at least 20 of them. So we're going to go ahead and remove those. Now, after you go and get all the bolts on the front of the bumper off, we're going to have these 2 panels on each side. So it's divided into this panel on the side. There's a panel over there, and then you got the middle panel. So there's 3 panels on the front up underneath. The panels on the sides are going to be coming off first, and there's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 little T15s back there holding on, and then you should just be able to kind of wiggle it out of the bumper and pull these off. It might take a little finessing, but it should just slide right out. All right, and that's what the panels on the side look like. But yeah, now we get a good look at everything up under here. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna get this other panel off on this other side, and then we'll figure out how many more T15s we have to take off to. Oh, maybe it is just this front little piece right here. Maybe there's 7s. That'd be pretty cool. I'm gonna get the other panel off, and then we'll find out. All right, cool. So we have the other panel on this side off as well. And after further diagnosis, it is just gonna be a couple 7s. So this panel right here is all that we have to remove. So it's gonna be just a couple more 7s on the front. We should just be able to slide this thing straight on out. Moving on, we are going to be removing 3 screws on both sides that connect the bumper to the fender. And those look to be 7mm probably. And then on the top, the last thing we're going to do up here, it's Pretty sketchy, I'm not gonna lie, but I already have this side done just so I can show you. So basically the tops where the bumper is like right there in between the headlight and the fender, you basically just kind of lift up right here and just kind of pop it up. It's super sketchy, but all it is just these little clips right here. And you're basically just gonna pop up the side of the bumper, just kind of with a quick little grab, just like that, right there. As you can see, just kind of pops up, and that's all it is. It's pretty simple. And then those 3 other bolts right there, and then this entire fascia should just kind of pop off. Just like that. Alrighty. Carefully set this on the ground. So there you have it, guys. This bumper is now off, and some of you might be doing this to install the guards for the front radiators. As you can see, these are pretty eaten up at 10,000 miles. Dang, that one is really eaten up at 10,000 miles. But you can either be doing that, or you can be like me and want to adjust your headlights at your house because you don't want your car waiting at a dealership forever. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually just adjusting my headlights so they don't chip away at the paint.